The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, live now.
This is Al Snow of WBE, ECW, Tough Enough, and God knows what else. Soon to be Midget Cage fighting for the breath fame. Telling you that you're listening to Trash Talking Radio, which comes on every Tuesday night on TrashTalkingRadio.com. This is Bobby Lashley. You're listening to Trash Talking Radio, 7 to 10 every Tuesday night.
This is the Latino sensation Mercedes Martinez talking to you at my Papi Chulo, Mike, the Trash Talking Radio, Tuesdays from 7 to 10. Mwah. Have a good one, ladies.
Hey, everybody, this is Kevin Kelly. You know me from the wonderful world of professional wrestling, and I am proud to be a part of Trash Talking Radio. Are you? Every Tuesday right here at TrashTalkingRadio.com. Hey, this is the Latino because I did say so myself. Hey, you gotta check out Trash Talking Radio. Even TrashTalkingRadio.com. Hey, man, it's awesome. It's great to hear all your favorite superstars. And just remember, never trust a midget, baby. Captain Lou, and I'm talking to you. 7 to 10, TrashTalkingRadio.com. There you go.
Check it out. Judith the Barber Beefcake in your living room on your radio.
Oh, hey folks, this is Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're listening to TrashTalkingRadio.com every Tuesday from 7 to 10. Tough guy. Oh! Woo, man! Feel good out there, my people. My business is there. Don't you miss this when they're going to be balling, spoiling, climbing the wall. It's JimmyValiant.com. Map how to get there. Start early, brother, and stay late. Love you guys.
Yeah, hey, listen, if you're out there and you're listening to my voice now, and you're listening to WWE superstar Ron Simmons, former black world heavyweight champion, first one I might add, and if you're not listening to Trash Talk Radio, I got one word for you. Damn!
Welcome to the Trash Talking Radio Show. Please take a seat and help yourself to the snacks and beverages. The show will begin in just a few seconds. Are you ready? Are you seated? Please welcome your host. He is the singer/songwriter of the Uncle Sam Band. He is the host with the most, Mr. Tuesday Night, Every Woman's Fantasy. He is the manager of champions, singer of songs, and actor without a script. He will be the first against the wall when the revolution comes. He is a lover of life. He is a Tesla driving, song singing, talk show hosting, son of a gun. Please welcome the Vital Idol, Classy Mike Trash.
All right, how you doing? Welcome to the show. I think I've got an issue with distortion today, so I'm going to have to back it down a little bit, and I'm going to have to remix that last thing because it was definitely louder or distorted than I expected it to be. So, how's everyone doing? I'm trying to figure out, as usual, how I do this. I never can get it right. Somehow I just don't get it right. And I'm trying to figure out why I don't get it right. That's the button I need. So I'm trying to post stuff and it won't. Oh, there it is. Okay, so that's where the post goes. Okay. Create post, and then I just drop in the link. I think. Maybe. Nope. Stop. Drop in the link. Where is it? Didn't copy the link, I guess. Okay. So, anyway. So, as we get the show going, there's a lot of big news and stuff today. And trying to talk and do everything at the same time. So, how'd you like the animation? Pretty cool, huh? I found that on the internet. Well, no, I didn't. I found that on a what you call it? I found that on a site that I subscribe to, So I found it very interesting that they could do the things that they can do with the animation, and hopefully it will be my new to-go thing. Alright, now I lost my own post. So how do I get my own post? I guess I can go here. It's got to be here. There it is. Alright. So there is the post. And, oh, there was the post. Alright. Yeah, I'm having fun with this. Not really. It shouldn't be that difficult to find. But, anyway, I'll get started here in just a minute, as soon as I figure out what it is that I'm doing. There's the place I want it to go. And there is where I create the post. Then I drop the post in here somehow. I can't do it with this keyboard. That's one problem. Alright. Which one is it? This keyboard. Paste. There it is. Alright. Now I think I got it. Is it? No? That was great. I did the logo. That's not what we wanted. Okay. Let's try this again. So. Share. Nope. I have no idea what I'm doing. This is sucky. Because by now you think I'd figure... I mean, I figured it out the last couple weeks, but for some reason it didn't work this time. Oh, there we go. Copy link. Then I can post it in here. Alright, now we're hopefully working on all cylinders. Now let's post. Okay. Let's try to put it in there now. There we go. Okay. Wow. The thing I do to make this show go. Alright. There we go. That's the one I have to post, because if I don't post that one, no one knows the show's on. So, alright. So, this is, I got another, I'm writing a new song, a whole new song for the show, and hopefully that song will allow me to avoid copyright problems, which I've recently had a lot of. Even though the song isn't copyrighted that I used, somebody claimed, well, I mean somebody else wrote it, not me. So, the one I'm writing is going to actually be my song. It's a pretty cool song, and it'll be done hopefully for next week. So, alright, enough with the formalities. Now it's time to start this show. Now I gotta figure out which looks like all of the streams are running tonight. I didn't check one of them. Let's check the Twitter stream, because I understand Twitter, well, Periscope is going to go away, and that's sad. Okay, pinned to my profile, yes. There we go. Alright, now all the streams are running. Alright. Hopefully, yeah, there we go. Alright, now we got everything going. Now we can rock and roll and do things the way it should be done. Let's get things rolling. The PC, get rid of the girl. Let her come back later. If you didn't see it, you need to check it out. It's a pretty neat little graphic. So, alright. There we go. Time to rock and roll. Alright. I said that before. Just kind of looking over, trying to make sure we got all the things to go. We had a couple deaths. A couple sad ones. Well, I mean, they're all sad, but I'll start with this one. Cicely Tyson died. She was a legendary actress, and she was known for Sounder and other roles. She died at 96. That was a weird thing to think about, being 4 years away from 100, and she died. So that kind of sucks. I would have wanted to hang around till I was 100 then. If I'm going to go that far, I should go all the way, right? Says here, Cicely Tyson, a legendary film, television, and actress, stage actress for Sounder and other roles, died at 96. I wonder if I'd like to live to be that old. I mean, I guess it depends how well your body stayed together, but at 96 you'd think that you would not be in complete control of your faculties, or you'd need to walk with a walker or something like that, but I don't know, maybe not. Tyson was born and raised in Harlem and was first discovered as a model for Ebony magazine. She began her career with bit parts and gained some fame in the early 70s when black women were finally starting to get roles. Tyson starred as Rebecca Morgan, a sharecropper, in a 1972 film Sounder, and was nominated as Best Actress by the Academy Awards next year. She also won Emmy Awards for Autobiography of Jane Pittman and a 2013 Tony Award for A Trip to Bountiful. In 2016, President Barack Obama awarded Tyson the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civil honor, and the year before she received Kennedy Center Honors Lifetime Award. Obama, in presenting Tyson the Medal of Freedom Award, said she shaped the course of history. So she was definitely a groundbreaker. So it's good to pay tribute to her. But yeah, it's kind of sad, but she lived a full life, and she paved the way for other people to become more prevalent in society. Oh, what's this? Identical to the last one I posted? I don't think so, was it? Guess I gotta check. It says that I posted it already, and I only posted it once. Guess I gotta look at my own place and see if it's the last thing I posted. See, I don't see it. You lied. You said I did it, and I don't think I did. Alright. So I posted by hand then. Hopefully. Not having much luck posting today. Nope, that didn't do it either. Alright, so we'll do it this way. From there. Copy. And I'll post it here. That's the same thing. Maybe I ought to post the Twitter one. Twitter one worked. Oh, this is NBC News. I have problems with their posts, I think. Alright, we'll put it in this way. Delete this. And we'll put it in here. This is why we don't use their stuff. There we go. There we go. Now we're okay. Alright, the next one. Cloris Leachman died. Oh, by the way, that was January 28th. Cloris Leachman died in January 27th. We're having all kinds of stars going out. Actually, celebrity deaths. I'm going to do this one. Well, I could do this one. I'm going to do this later. Okay. Sophie Phoenix. She was Grammy-nominated producer and artist Sophie. Died at age 34 after sudden accident in Greece. Then we have Cicely Tyson. Then we have Cloris Leachman. Famed actress Cloris Leachman died on January 27th of natural causes at 94. 94. Again, we're close to 100 there. She's best known for her iconic film roles in projects like Young Frankenstein and The Mary Tyler Moore Show. There was no one like Cloris. Guess I could post this, because this had everybody that has died this year so far. So, and there have been quite a few people. I'm not going to talk about all of them because I don't know a whole lot about all of them, but then we have Hal Holbrook, He died February 23rd. Tony and Emmy-winning actor Hal Holbrook, famed for his portrayal of Mark Twain throughout his career and for playing Watergate informant Deep Throat in the 1976 All the President's Men. Larry King, of course, we talked about, I think, last week. And Hank Aaron we talked about last week. There was another one I missed. Randy Parton, that's younger brother of Dolly Parton. He died at 67. Baby CEO, I don't know who that is, Jonathan Brown. He's a rapper. We talked about Phil Spector. There was another one in there I missed. Sigmund. Sigmund and Freud died. He died of pancreatic cancer on January 13th. I missed that one. He was 81. So, his passing follows the death of his longtime performing partner, Roy Horn, in May of COVID-19. So they'll be together again. And I think I got everybody else that was important. Oh, this one was interesting. This was, she died January 7th, Marion Ramsey. She's the high-pitched black woman that was in, I think she was a high-pitched black woman that was in Police Academy. And she died at 73 on January 7th. And Deezer D died January 7th as well. Deezer D is a rapper, but he was also a nurse. He was Nurse Malik McGrath on ER. He died at 55. The family believes that Deezer died of a heart attack following major surgery after roughly a decade earlier. So, I believe we got all of them after this. So, but there was one more. I mean, all of the ones on here that I wanted to cover. Then there's one more, and that is, this is kind of sad because he was only 44. And we talked about him the other week, Saved by the Bell. Dustin Diamond dies at 44 after a battle with cancer. That is sad because he was only 44. I just can't fathom. My brother died at 53, and he battled that cancer a long time before he died. And I would imagine that Dustin Diamond did it too. So it's sad to see him pass away too, especially at that age where you're just, I just started making strides in my life in my 40s. I just started getting into the good life. But there was a lot of things that came up today about Dustin Diamond. That came up the past couple of days. I kind of want to, even though I didn't ever interview him, I had a chance to interview him because I think he worked for Celebrity Boxing, and I think I was trying to get him then, or they offered him to me and I didn't take him. I don't remember which one it was, but I'm kind of, if I decided not to take him, I'm really bumming now. But he had stage 4 lung cancer, and my brother died from lung and brain cancer. So I totally could relate to what his friends are going through. It says here, TMZ. Here we go. He wasn't a bad-looking guy. He was best known for playing Screech, and it says he was taken off breathing machines in an attempt to get him to hospice care. His girlfriend was down by his side when he died, and we're told he did not suffer. That's the only good thing. Cancer started somewhere in his body and metastasized in his lungs, and he was initially hospitalized in Florida in January after feeling pain all over his body and a general sense of unease. And unfortunately, the kid's star was turned. The thing is, if he didn't know he had cancer, it's because he didn't go to the doctors. Because, as far as I'm concerned, medical stuff today will tell you what you got. I mean, they looked at my dog and told me he has cancer, and I just think that he didn't do any. He stayed away from the doctors. That's what my brother did, and my brother was crazy for not going to the doctor because it could have saved his life probably, but he went too late, and that's probably what happened to him. I can imagine he was in all kinds of pain. I see a doctor 4 times a year at least. Of course, last year it was a couple more times because I ended up in the hospital and stuff, but you know, it just, we are not doctors. We cannot answer as to whether or not things are what we think they are. So if we don't go to the doctor, it's our own fault. I mean, we're hearing all these people that die of COVID at all ages. I mean, that would make me want to go to the doctor a lot more because I want to make sure I don't have COVID. So this is interesting too. Hulk Hogan pays tribute to Dustin Diamond. That's kind of interesting, but I didn't realize. I mean, he went through a period where he was doing celebrity boxing and doing all kinds of different things, and I guess at one point he worked with Hogan's Celebrity Wrestling, and it says here it says Diamond appeared on a contest on WWE Hall of Fame Hogan's Celebrity Championship Wrestling in 2008, and made several appearances in Memphis Championship Wrestling for multiple indie companies later, including FTW in New York and AAW in Chicago. He also competed in a boxing match during an NWA TNA event from Nashville, and defeated Tiny the Timekeeper by KO in that video. Can be seen below. And Hogan took to Twitter and paid tribute. Dustin was the brightest light. I would always love to hear his take on wrestling psychology. And that was from Hulk Hogan. So, I guess I play this. I'm probably getting in trouble for it, but what the heck. Let's see. Here we go. Oh yeah, I remember that now. I forgot about that. He took on Horseshack. Wow, he's dead too. Wow. They were kind of like similar in their parts. And I mean, I never saw Saved by the Bell, but I'm just assuming that. He kicked the crap out of Horseshack. That's funny. It's funny that they were even put in a ring, but I guess when you get a chance to make money, you do what you got to do. But yeah, I don't know. Let's see here. All right, next. Did they say anything in here that was interesting? I'll skip ahead a little bit. Let's see. Oh, that's the guy he was talking about. Okay. Do you want to be a bell ringer all your life, or do you want to do it? Well, do they do the actual match? Oh, I guess they do. So that's one of his memories. So if you ever want to see Screech doing the knockout, you can see that. It's pretty funny. Classic moments. It's pretty sad when your classic moments include a non-wrestler in a wrestling industry. And here's him with Memphis, I guess. Let's see. Trying to see who it is that gets in the ring with him. He's in the front row, figures.
Dustin, who played Screech on Saved by the Bell back again this week, is a big fan of the cast. I mean, God, what did he rip off one of Jack Eaton's?
That's really weird. This is a really old VHS tape, too. Trying to figure out who she is. I haven't figured it out.
Oh, Cat, I love you.
She's in love. He's in love with the
Got
cat.
me some chocolates, my love. Here, hold this. Of course I know you. I've seen you debut since you first started in this business. I've watched every
I should know
time
her.
you've ever been on stage, ever been on a show anywhere.
All right, let's move to see what happens here. Is she going to slap him or what?
Candy.
Somebody get Lakeside on the phone. Somebody in Bolivar somewhere.
Slap him, slap him. Oh, she didn't slap him. She just left. Well, that's not good.
Candy.
Oh boy, that was a sorry angle. And then there's pictures of Hogan's championship wrestling, that with Brian Knobbs in here. And what's the other picture? Oh, the group of people that were in that show. Such a shame. I to die so young. And there's nothing else in there. But anyway, I just wanted to say that it was a shame to see him die so young. He, seemed to be a decent guy. He liked wrestling. That's a good thing. That gets some points in my book. So that's our deal. That's all of them this week, I believe. Let me see here. Yeah, I got Deezer. And all these others. Alright. I'm going to keep that link to the death of 2021. Because that seems to have I almost forget some of them because there were so many that died this past month. There were a ton of people that died this month. If you hear that noise, it's my dog biting on his bone. Alright, next. Don't think I have anything for movies yet again. Haven't done anything for them. Alright, I do have some stuff that's pretty cool though. So there's a movie out, Denzel Washington and Rami Malek, who is known for, I think, iRobot. I think that's the name of the show, and he's known for the Queen movie. Put out a movie called The Little Things, and they did $4.8 million in their debut. Best for older guy fare during pandemic. I don't know what that means. There you go. So, I mean, people were, it's not like the old days where people were making movies and the box office was, $500,000 or, I shouldn't say not $500 billion. Now we're back to box office at 4.8 million being a good movie. Such a shame because, no matter what, they can't really make money on the platform of not being able to play to a big audience. So now I don't even know what movies are coming out, and it's kind of sad because I love movies, but I'm not going to go out to the theaters until I know what's going on. It says here, if you're looking for an exciting financial action to come out of the movie business, it's not the box office, but rather the stock exchange, especially in last week's boom. Number one exhibitor is AMC. Continued closure of movie theaters during COVID-19. Only 45% of all the 5.8K and U.S. movie theaters are open. And it said Warner Brothers, Denzel Washington, Rami Malek thriller Little Things this past weekend, which only opened at 4.8 million at 2,171 theaters. The best known for R-rated movie and older guy fare during the pandemic. The Little Things, it made 7.6 million money from 20 markets, including Russia, Saudi Arabia, Taiwan, and United Arab. So, really sad that we can't have movies still. I don't even see movie trailers anymore, and that really kills it. So I don't even know what's out, and that's pretty bad for me because I love to watch movies. So Kelly Dodd is in the news. Kelly Dodd's fired for positive beverage following her controversial comments. So I had to look up who she was because I had no idea who she was, and that it's kind of funny. But Positive Beverage is cutting ties with Kelly Dodd. In a statement on Sunday, the beverage company said it would no longer be affiliated with the Real Housewives of Orange County following her controversial comments on social media and conduct on the Bravo series. So, yeah, you think that you got a good deal going if someone's paying you money to have your show, and some people just don't care. Our core values of wellness excuse me our core values of wellness, community, diversity, and inclusion should be reflected by our brand and anyone associated. It's come clear over the past few months, Kelly's controversial views and opinions have detracted from our primary objectives. So effective today, we're no longer affiliated with Kelly Dodd. And so I guess she tweeted, I'm glad I could help put Positive Beverage on the map and wish them well. I'm also really excited about my next venture in the beauty industry. This is my passion. Stay tuned. I don't know what she posted, but yeah, it's kind of interesting. Let's see if there's anything in here. Over the past year, Dodd's made headlines for controversial remarks about COVID-19, including declaring the pandemic was God's way of thinning the herd, and wearing a hat as seen in the insensitive towards the Black Lives Matter movement. Well, that's the wrong thing to do. I'm a human being. I make mistakes, she said of the controversies during a December appearance on Watch What Happens Next. Everyone has said and done things in their lives that they regret, and I regret these things. I freaked out. It wasn't right. Well, yeah. Yeah, she deserves it. I'm glad she was fired if that was the case. So, people should just be, smart. If you really feel that way, keep it to yourself. If you want to keep your career, and hopefully you don't really feel that way, but there are still a lot of people out there that do. Okay. I talked about the NBC and WWE thing, or I should say Peacock at NBC. A note on a WWE feature that won't be available on Peacock. I'm trying to remember what that. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so the feature, one of the features that's on the website, on WWE's website, will not be available to people on the Peacock network, and that's the ability. Like if I watched, let's say I was watching the last pay-per-view, which was the Royal Rumble, and say it was Sunday, and I tuned in late on the WWE network. All you have to do is, I have a choice of watching it live or starting from the beginning. That's not going to be available on the Peacock version. On the Peacock version, you get you show up 10 minutes late, you're watching it 10 minutes late. The only other opportunity you have is you have to watch it, watch the rerun. So that I will miss, because I like that idea, because half the time I don't tune in right at the time that I should be tuning in. So that is maybe one of the only things that is negative about it so far. It's still going to be cheaper. It's going to be $5 a month instead of $10 a month. So that in itself is a win. But yeah, I'm still excited about it, because it means that WWE is going to survive this pandemic, and they were worried about that may not happen. Well, I don't know. They probably weren't worried about it. I was worried about it. So yeah. So I like the idea that they're going to be affiliated with them, but I figured there's no other place that they could go, because their affiliation with NBC is a long-standing affiliation, and of course they've got Dick Ebersol there. I think he's still there, but I think it'll be a good thing for them. I think that's a good decision for them to have partnered up with them, because they have the power to get them where they need to go. So hopefully it'll continue to be a good thing. That's the only thing with that article. I saw that, and I was definitely interested in what they would be talking about for that. So all right, let's see here. All right. Let's see, here we are. Okay, next thing. I probably shouldn't have put this in this section, but I wanted to make sure that I covered it. But this particular thing says, son found dead with mother in luxury New York City apartment, was an actor. But I never heard of him. But that's nothing new, because I don't know all the actors out there. But I should have put this in maybe the crime or the other area. But anyway, so what we have here, the son found dead with the body of his mother in their luxury Chelsea apartment was an actor who may have had a heart attack after his ailing mom passed away. They had a very quiet, almost hermit-like life. Juliana Wendell, 61, of her 95-year-old mother, Agnes, and 64-year-old brother, William Weddle, who had bit parts in flicks such as It Could Happen to You, and with Nicolas Cage, and Woody Allen's Crimes and Misdemeanors. The mother and son were found dead in their apartment in the Tate on West 23rd Street during a wellness check. Her on the couch and him in a bed. Agnes had been doing poorly for the past month, and the medical examiner believes the mom was dead for at least a week and her son for 2 days. So that's kind of sad. Kind of sad that the son and the mother both died. COVID-19 is making a Super Bowl a lot different than it was other years. Now I can't see. How it is. Oh, here it is. Yeah. So we're going to have Super Bowl next week, and it should be really interesting, because next week it's going to be a lot different than other Super Bowls. NFL season like none other will conclude February 7th, Super Bowl 55, which will be unprecedented in many ways. Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be the first team to host the Super Bowl in their own stadium. Definitely makes the family plans easier and probably lightens the mental load for the team that has no more trips to make as the virus continues. And to me that's awesome, because here we have the probably most loved and hated quarterback of all times, Tom Brady, who is no longer with the Patriots, and everybody said bad things about him, and everyone was sure he was going to screw it up and wasn't going to do well, and guess what? He didn't screw it up, and he's doing probably fairly well. And I would imagine that people in Florida are really happy to see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go from, being just another team to being a really good team. And just as funny to me, because all the people had these negative attitudes about him, and he and the Gronk really showed what they were made of. And I think it's hilarious, because there are some people that just, no matter what he does, he'll never be their it's not their quarterback. So I think he's proven that at 40 something he can still play, and he's still a viable candidate. So as far as that's concerned, he has nothing to be ashamed of at all. And even if he doesn't win the Super Bowl, he was in another Super Bowl. And it's kind of funny. But anyway, Raymond James Stadium, which typically accommodates 65,618 fans, will be capped to a capacity of 22,000 due to the COVID-19. The attendance for the Super Bowl 43, the last time the game was played here, was Steelers Cardinals in 2009, and they had 70,774 people. So that's a lot of people. And I just think that it's awesome that Tom Brady pulled it through again. It says, despite pandemic, 25% will attend gatherings to watch the Super Bowl 55 between the Chiefs and the Buccaneers. So I just really was happy to see it, and I don't know why, I don't know how. All I know is he was successful. So that's the most important part, and you can't hold back somebody that does what they do if they are the best. And I know people don't want to admit it, but he's got to be in the top tier, because he seems to end up in the finale most of the time. So I don't know, I just think it's funny. Hey, I got a dog here, he's complaining about something. I don't know what he's complaining about. What do you want? What do you want? What can I get for you? Can I get you a drink? No? Well, then stop making noise. Do you want some ibuprofen? I can get you ibuprofen. He hasn't complained about all this pain and stuff, which is really odd. I really would have thought that he would have had pain in his system, but maybe I'll get lucky, and and the cancer will go away. I don't think so, but you never know. All right, next. It says here, more than 1/3 of those in attendance, approximately 7,500, will be vaccinated healthcare workers. Most will come from Central Florida. Through all 32 teams will be allowed to send healthcare representation who fought the pandemic in their respective markets. All will watch the game as guests of the league. Every fan must wear a mask. So, if you're a conspiracy theory person, don't go. It's not worth it. So, hopefully, that will not be the case. What's that noise? I hear a new noise. always hear these noises during the show, but then I never run these computers except for the show. What are you doing? Why are you staring at me? You're such a dog. He's a good dog, but he's pesty. Oh, what am I seeing behind me? Ah, there's the dog. There he is. Hey. Hey. People never see you. They only hear about you. Oh no, you knocked my light over. Come on. Move. Well, hopefully I don't need that light. You're a pesty dog. Anyway. Alright, so that's the big Super Bowl thing. Read something else that was interesting about Super Bowl. I wonder where I put the part. I'll put the here it is. Michael B. Jordan is Alexa's voice and body in Amazon's Super Bowl ad. This was pretty funny. I watched part of this, and I really hate to watch
it's just flawless, isn't it?
Here we go.
I mean, I literally couldn't imagine a more beautiful vessel for Alexa to be.
Michael B. Jordan is on the bus.
How many tablespoons are in a cup?
There are 16 tablespoons in a cup.
It's funny because he's throughout this whole video he's supposed to be Alexa, and so this woman is definitely she likes him a lot.
Bam! Food just got here. Why you cooking? Who's that?
Alexa, turn the sprinklers.
But I was also kissing you. Honey, other people have to use the bathroom around here too.
To me, that's an awesome commercial, and Michael B. Jordan is hilarious. So I like all the things he's been in. He's been in a lot of good movies. So, but yeah, that cracked me up when I saw that. All right, now let's see here. Did I put this through too? I don't know. Well, I guess I could put it through again in case I didn't. Tweet it. I think I did. Maybe I didn't. No. Make sure I put it through. Oh, here we go again. Won't let me do it. Alright. Let me put this over here. Then post it over in Facebook. Gives a whole new meaning to Alexa, and Michael B. Jordan's part of it. All right, what do we got next? There's a big news story that broke right before the show started. And that is Jeff Bezos of Amazon is stepping down. And that is really big news. Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos will leave his post later this year, turning the helm over to the company's top CEO, the top cloud executive, Andy Jassy. Jassy joined Amazon in 1997 and has led the Amazon Web Services Cloud since its inception. Bezos say he will stay engaged in important Amazon projects, but will also have more time to focus on Bezos Earth Fund, his Blue Origin spaceship company, and the Washington Post, and the Amazon Day One Fund. That's pretty big news, because that's a guy that really took Amazon from the ground on up. I remember back when the place where I worked, we sold to Amazon, and we sold to them in 97, and in around around 2000, 2001, somewhere around there, the internet crash happened, and all the companies that sold on the internet also lost their lines, or we dropped their lines big time. And Amazon was one of the few that stayed alive of those in the early 2000s, and they just kept chugging away and became such a big entity that they could have actually bought our company at some point. But I remember when they first started out, how they were just they were growing leaps and bounds, and then everybody was afraid they were going to go bust, and they watched their line real closely. I remember I had one company that was up in Connecticut, I think, and they took their line and cut it in half, and it was a big deal. And then, of course, they were right. That company went out of business, and actually was absorbed by 2 different businesses. So you're back again. What do you want? You want a snack or something? You think I got food over here? I don't know if I have food over here or not. Let me see if I can give you. The thing is, if I start this, you're going to start bugging me and bugging me and bugging me. I know I shouldn't do this, but because you're a dog, you're my good dog, you get a free treat. Don't bug me. Alright, anyway, so Bezos, he's only 57. That's just amazing that he was able to turn that into what it was. I think Amazon was originally books and stuff, and they took him into, every technology took him into a different way, but he was able to stay on top of things. But I remember they used to, if I'm not mistaken, they used to originally buy and sell classroom books or something like that. Let me read this here. Founded in 1994. Oh wow, I didn't know about that. And since morphed to one-time online bookstore into a mega retailer with global reach in a slew of different categories, from gadgets to groceries to streaming. Amazon surpassed 1 trillion market cap under Bezos' leadership, and it's now worth more than $1.6 trillion. That's just a crazy, crazy thing. To think where they started and where they are now, that's forward thinking. Most companies would have just died because they couldn't keep up with it and couldn't be smart enough to diversify. But they were smart enough to diversify. But that's very cool. Yeah, it says here, Amazon's earning for the fourth quarter sales copied $100 billion for the first time. That's just amazing. Amazing numbers that they could do that. And like I said, the way that they've grown in this business. What in the world's that? Anna J. Oh, okay, that's a wrestling thing. Okay. But yeah, I look at that because, for the most part, I was along for the ride because I worked for a company that was one of their major partners, and I got to see a lot of things that I wouldn't have seen if I wasn't part of that. What? You were part of it for part of the time. I know. You think you deserve everything in that container, but I'm not going to give it to you. Oh. My dog can have anything he wants, and he knows it. He's such a good dog. He's 11, and recently was diagnosed with cancer, so I am very unhappy about that. Let's see here. What else we got? So if we talk about Jeff Bezos, we actually got to talk about Elon Musk, too. Elon Musk, SpaceX announces a space flight intended to raise money for St. Jude's Hospital. To me, that is so cool that they went to the lengths that they do, and they're going to raise money for of all places, St. Jude's. St. Jude's, I don't think I've ever heard anything bad about them. And I think Danny Thomas used to raise money for St. Jude's. I'm not going to swear to that, but I believe that's the case. It says here, SpaceX announced Monday that it would fly a crew of private citizens into orbit around Earth, potentially by the end of the year, in a multi-day mission designed to raise money for St. Jude's Hospital. The announcement comes after a company founded by Elon Musk in 2002 to make space more accessible flew 2 crews of NASA astronauts last year, as well as an astronaut from Japan, and they all went to the International Space Station. It plans to fly a crew of 4, all private citizens, to the International Space Station early next year. The flight, announced Monday, would mark another significant milestone in the privatization of spaceflight, as private companies erode government's long-held monopoly on human spaceflight. It's being funded by Jared Isaacman, a 37-year-old founder and chief executive of Shift4 Payments, a payments technology company. Isaacman, an accomplished pilot who flies commercial and military aircraft, would command the mission and is donating 2 sets of seats to St. Jude. One is going to the yet-named healthcare worker at the hospital. The other seat will be raffled off in an attempt to raise at least $2 million for St. Jude. The flight will leave Kennedy Space Center in Florida, but NASA, the government space agency, is not directly involved in planning the trip, and which the spacecraft will orbit the Earth every 90 minutes. NASA's been briefed on this and has been very supportive. It's unclear how much Isaacson is paying for the mission, but he said he's donating $100 million to St. Jude as part of a fundraising effort, and we aim to raise, in terms of those funds, and the amount of good it will do will certainly far exceed the mission itself. So there you go. If you want to be in space, here's your shot. I can't imagine having that kind of money to do it. Geez, $200 million raffled off. I don't have any interest in going to space itself, but what about you, buddy? Do you have interest in going into space? Maybe we could, help you. Could find your metabolism slowing down or something. Oh, I love my dog. Can't tell that. Let's see, did we do that one? I think we did. Let's see. Yep, that's what I thought we did. All right. John Cena is in the news, and he wasn't at the Royal Rumble yesterday, or Sunday. Yeah. John Cena will star in Mountain Dew's Super Bowl ad, but not at WrestleMania. So let's see here. Cena says there's no mathematical way he can be at the event this year. The Super Bowl, as you can see, John Cena, but not at WrestleMania. The latest step in Cena's career is starring in Mountain Dew ad that will air this Sunday during the first half of the Super Bowl. The spot promotes Mountain Dew's newest flavor, Major Melon, as well as its new content, which will reward first person to correctly tweet the exact number of Mountain Dew Major Melon bottles in the ad with a $1 million prize. A Super Bowl ad, for me, is life-changing, and it's going to change someone's life. Mountain Dew Major Melon is really changing the perspective of advertising with this campaign, and I'm honored to be part of it. So, that's kind of cool. And, oh, wait, here we go. Can we count? I don't know if this is this the one?
33, 34, 35. Hi, I'm John Cena, and I know how to count. In fact, knowing how to count could change your life on...
Knowing how to count. There you go. There's your way to make money. So, that's funny. Let's see. Okay, then we'll continue
Super
again.
Bowl Sunday. Mike, help you win $1 million. If you count all the bottles of delicious Mountain Dew Major Melon, our new watermelon flavor, in our commercial.
Well, how many bottles are there? Whoa. Well, that's not a bottle, so that can't be counted. Oh, okay, so now we're going to watch.
37, 38, 39, 33.
You know, for a guy who I didn't really like in the beginning, I got to tell you, seen this all right. Actually, I like all of his movies. I like all the things he's been in. And I just didn't want to like him in wrestling. And I can't understand why, but I just didn't want to like him. But I like him in the movies, and I guess I like him in wrestling now. I can't really, there's nothing I could say bad about him because I think that he does a good job in everything that he does. So it just is kind of funny when I think about it. But, yeah. Hey, I'd like to have a Mountain Dew commercial, but, yeah, that's not going to happen. Actually, I have an acting thing coming up that gotta go back to Philly again. So hopefully it'll work out. Let's see. All right. Save this one for later. What time is it? Okay, I'm doing good. If I need it, I'll have it at the end of the show. It's kind of a funny thing about Wonder Woman. Anyway. Alright, main show. We're talking, make sure all the stuff is here. Good. Yeah, there it is. Alright. Let's go here. This is interesting because if you didn't know it, there are certain things that when a president leaves office, like Trump or everyone else, there's rules they have to follow. First off, they have to establish a presidential library. Everyone has to start with a presidential library. So in the presidential library, there's every president seems to have one, and it's a rule that was established thanks to the Presidential Libraries Act of 1955. Each former president must oversee the construction of a new library in their name. I'm sure that Trump won't have any problems with that because he likes to use his name anywhere he can. But presidential libraries aren't normal libraries. They must contain everything that's ever been written by that president while in office, even the bad stuff. And certainly we know Trump has a lot of stuff to fill that library up. This is because information is all legally considered public property. So that I found really interesting. They still have to read national security briefings. Now, you would say, well, why would you have to do that? Well, one of the duties that comes along with being president is constantly having to read up on national security briefs in order to stay informed about any potential threats to the U.S. Former presidents must also do that so they can offer advice to the current administration. Although I doubt that President Trump will be asked for information or will be asked for their opinion, it still has to be done. And that's one thing that I'm sure that other presidents really don't want to see. So they probably won't ask him for anything. But it is still there. But let's see here. Then they can't smack talk other presidents. While this isn't an official rule, smack talking other presidents is heavily frowned upon by White House tradition. Now you know Trump is going to smack talk other presidents. That's almost a guarantee. So hey, how you doing, Dr. Spin? Good to talk to you. So, like I said, Trump will be smack talking everybody, but they must have their mail searched. It's not too surprising, considering all the sketchy things that could be sent in the mail. Both the Secret Service and the United States Postal Service are required to examine any suspicious-looking packages that get delivered to the president and former presidents. I'm not surprised about that. I just didn't ever think about that because, why would I? They aren't allowed to drive. That's a rule. Of course, we're all aware that the acting president always has drivers to take him where he needs to go, which, actually I wouldn't like that. I kind of like driving. But did you know that former presidents aren't allowed to drive themselves anywhere outside of their own private property? This is because presidents get a lifetime of Secret Service to ensure their safety on the road and otherwise. Fun fact, Lyndon B. Johnson was the last president to drive himself on public roads. So that's interesting thing. They have their tech usage monitored. They're probably not on porno sites. Literally every person is monitored by big tech through their smartphones nowadays. But surveillance is a little different with former presidents because the government is required to provide a warrant to survey American citizens. It's not required to do so for former presidents on the grounds that it is necessary to protect them from outside threats. They must maintain status as goodwill ambassadors. We know how much goodwill President Trump was. Former presidents may not have explicitly stated presidential duties anymore, but they're still required to uphold certain roles, one of which is being a goodwill ambassador. As is such, they are encouraged to travel as much as possible and even given a budget of $1 million annually to do it. They also receive diplomatic passports so that they can travel without having to obtain visas. Yeah, give me $1 million. I'll be glad to travel places. I don't think I'd want to travel some of the places that they travel, but I'd do it. They can't go anywhere alone. Former presidents aren't allowed to drive places alone. They're actually not allowed to go anywhere alone, period. In fact, you're really not allowed to do anything alone at all. So if alone time is important to you, then being president isn't the right career path for you. Former Secret Service agent Jonathan Wackrow described it as the most intrusive thing anyone could ever experience. Yeah, I can't imagine wanting to be president for that reason alone. Anyway, they can't do whatever they want, and not being allowed to go anywhere alone comes not being able to do absolutely anything you want, because as you might expect, the Secret Service has to be given a heads up before you go anywhere so that they can scout the location, and otherwise oftentimes this needs to be done days and even months beforehand. And remember, this is a case for the rest of your life, so you can't be spontaneous. So you can't just say, hey, I'd like to go see the movies tonight, because you're not going to get to go. You gotta scout out the location and all that other fun stuff. Hey, we're still up on YouTube. That's amazing. Where's my Twitter? Where's my Twitch? My Twitch is missing. Darn. What happened to my Twitch? I guess I messed that up. Gotta figure that out. I had it up, and I don't know if it's going yet anymore or not. Alright, so I gotta go to my Twitch feed. Let's kind of see if it's still up. So, it's fun when you try to get this stuff together and you can't ever get it working right. Just checking to make sure. Yep, we're still there. Good. That's good. Constantly monitoring. Alright. Next. So what if the former president doesn't like the rules? Well, The rules are there to protect him, but he certainly could have a problem with the rules, especially when you can't do whatever you want to do. But when the rules for former presidents certainly are strict, there's one solution for those who don't want to abide by them. Just sign a waiver saying you don't want Secret Service's guaranteed protections for former presidents. This means that the former president's safety is now in their own hands. They're free to either forego any security or hire their own, which may allow them more freedom. I can see Trump doing that, because not wanting to deal with it. But, now, what about the perks? Being a former president comes with perks. But, see what they are. You be quiet back there. You're just noisy. I don't need noise. Unless you're going to sing a song for the people, you shouldn't be crying and all that stuff. All right. They receive a transition stipend, and the departing president, even those who resign, receive a stipend for 6 months after leaving the office to help them transition back into non-president life. The government allows them up to $900,000 for this transition. That's pretty good. I'd be happy with that. Give me that kind of money. They get free security, as we determined. They get Secret Service for the rest of their life, and at least rest assuring that their kids will remain safe, as they will get free security up to the age of 16. So, that's good. They're encouraged to stay in the presidential townhouse. Now, there's the White House is in the middle of D.C., but they have a couple different presidential places that they could stay. If a former president comes to visit the White House, they're heavily encouraged to stay in the presidential townhouse across the street. While they certainly aren't required to do this, it's encouraged because they already set up all the necessity for security and all that. So you got the Eisenhower building, the president's guest house, the Trowbridge house, and then the presidential townhouse. So you can still, you probably don't have to rent them either. You probably get in free. They continue their government health benefits. All former presidents and families have access to treatment at the military hospitals and the government health care. But there's a caveat. Only the federal employees who worked for the government for at least 5 years are eligible for this perk. Of course, they have the option to discontinue the government health care in favor of private insurance, but who on earth would want to do that? I'm sure that many of the presidents have better insurance than what the government health insurance is. They get a lifetime pension. This is kind of good. I mean, I wish I got this kind of pension when I left my job. Thanks to the Former Presidents Act, former presidents get an annual salary of nearly $208,000 after they leave. That's a pretty sweet deal if you ask them. They receive $150,000 per year for 2 years to help them employ a private staff. And after the first 2 years, it drops to $96,000. I could take that. I'd be more than happy. They get spouses' pensions too. The presidents don't have to worry about saving up for their spouses. If they die, the widower or widow receives $20,000 a year as long as they don't remarry before the age of 60. And like I talked about last week, most of the presidents are in their 50s, with the exception of the one that we got now and the one that we had last time. They get free office space, and so you get a chance to have a free room to work out of if you want to do some work. And of course, a former president's going to need space for him and his staff to work. That's where the perk comes in handy. The yearly budget for the U.S. General Services Administration includes office space for the former president and his staff, and he gets to pick any place in the United States. They also have all the office supplies and furnishings supplied for them. There's a good reason to run for president, just so that when you're done, get all that stuff. They're entitled to a state funeral. Former commanders-in-chief are allowed to be buried via state funeral, which is reserved for figures of national significance. They're usually attended by other world leaders and often have religious military overtones. But having a state funeral comes with a compromise that wouldn't come in a private memorial service, as there are various strict rules that must be followed. This includes the speed at which the funeral procession can move, or the way in which the military guard can walk. So you can't, come up with a duck walk or something. And about acting presidents. As you can imagine, the acting president also has to follow some strange rules, even more surprising than former presidents. But what can we say? Being the leader of the free world is certainly no ordinary job. Some of the weird things: they can't open the windows, even on a hot day. You can't open a window at the White House or in the car. Towards the end of her husband's presidential term, former First Lady Michelle Obama told Steve Colbert, "I want to do little things, like open a window," and you can't open the window. I mean, it seems kind of weird, but you don't think about those things. But they're probably not even really allowed to be near the windows. They can't attend their kids' events. Unfortunately, as one might expect, being the President of the United States can certainly take a toll on a family. The President can't attend his kids' sporting events or school performances of any kind, as doing so would require too much planning and disruptive security for other attendees. So if your kids are going to graduate or whatever, you're not going to have to be there. They have to have their own funeral plan. Sure, it might be normal for a person to go out and plan their will prematurely, but planning out your own funeral when you first step into the Oval Office might be a strange feeling. Everything they do has to be planned out in advance. See, this would be a problem for me, because I like to do things spontaneously, like wake up and, hey, let's go to the beach. You wouldn't be able to do that. Actually, you probably wouldn't be able to do that anyway, because it would be really difficult to plan security. Just as we mentioned with former presidents, the current president must notify his Secret Service about anything he wants to do and anywhere he wants to go. Former President Obama made a side run to Starbucks while he was in office, which resulted in a Secret Service blocking off part of the street and moving pedestrians away. And don't even let us get started on when the president wants to eat at a restaurant. That would be a real strange thing if you're stuck doing all that. They have to pay for their own food after you leave the White House, as confirmed by the First Lady Michelle Obama. The president and his family must have their own private White House chef, but they must buy their own groceries unless the state official state functions. So I guess while they're in office, still got to pay for their own food. They must donate gifted designer clothing. This was interesting. I never even thought about any of this stuff, because this stuff is so weird to think about. But if either the president or first lady have a taste for expensive designer clothing, they have to pay for it themselves. However, a designer may gift an item of clothing with the expectation that they will donate it after only one wear. So that would be sad to have to give up your clothes. They still have to pay for their personal homes. When a president and his family move into the White House, they leave behind their old home for at least 4 years at a time. Regardless, they must pay for their old home's mortgage and any necessary upkeep out of their pockets. I wonder if any of the presidents really had a mortgage. I mean, you think about it, what president had a mortgage? Because all of them had a lot of money, I would imagine. I might be wrong about that, but that's something to think about. That why would they have to pay their? I mean, the chances are they had their house paid off already. Anyway, they can't use commercial airlines. That would be a plus for me. I would love to be in a situation where I could have a private aircraft. Can you imagine the commotion that would occur if the president stepped foot into your regular airport without warning? And when you have access to Air Force One whenever you want, why would you want to fly commercial? I would like to fly Air Force One. They can't decline Secret Service. Unlike former presidents, acting presidents don't have the choice with regard of having Secret Service. It might be annoying, but you need to have someone to, take care of you when you're president. When the rules get broken, well, there are some notorious rule breakers out there, and smack talkers. With regard of no smack talking, the sitting president rule, the most notorious rule breakers were former President Jimmy Carter, who asserted that George W. Bush administration was the worst in history. Eventually walked the comment back, stating that it was taken out of context, but the damage had already been done. Theodore Roosevelt was also known to talk poorly about his successor, William Taft and Woodrow Wilson. And this goes for presidential children, too. Not only are the former presidents technically not allowed to talk smack about other presidents, neither are their first children. Apparently, Alice Roosevelt was banned from entering the White House for 2 administrations after her father, Theodore Roosevelt. The reason? She had reportedly buried a voodoo doll and performed a hex on Nellie Taft, wife of her father's successor, William Taft. In the White House lawn, she was reportedly outspoken about her disdain for other presidents, including Woodrow Wilson. And I wonder if the voodoo doll is still there. No driving. Former presidents technically aren't supposed to drive themselves anywhere. But, of course, the rule has been broken by those who have a major hankering behind the wheel. Former President Ronald Reagan, for example, drove near his ranch in Santa Barbara, and one of the agents recalled everything was completely open, no seat belts. He's driving, and I'm thinking, if we go over the edge, how am I going to drag him out of the car? I can imagine Ronald Reagan being a rebel. At the end of the day, the president is supposed to follow the suggestions of their Secret Service agents, but technically, they're just that, suggestions. They are strongly discouraged by they can strongly discourage things all they want, but all the president has to do is say and everything, and the Secret Service just has to adapt accordingly, no matter how dangerous or ridiculous it may be. So there you go. Thought that was a really interesting thing I wanted to go over, but yeah. Just got to be careful. If you're going to be a president, you got to follow these rules, or forever be listening to people whine, or maybe not survive. I mean, a lot of those make sense, but it's hard to say how many of the presidents actually did break any of those rules. What if they tell you ahead of time, like, what the rules are, and then, then you have to live by them, because you have to sign a paper that says, these are the rules and all that. I don't know. A terrorist who butchered UK soldiers falls seriously ill from COVID-19. Good for him. He should definitely get the COVID-19. He should definitely die from it. People like that, I don't know. I mean, I don't know the whole story, but the self-styled soldier of Allah fell sick 2 weeks ago while serving 45 years in prison. So he may not continue to live. It doesn't say whether or not. It says here he fell. He's serving 45 years for sickening meat cleaver murder of the Fusilier in southeast London in 2013. So let's see if there's any updates. Let's see. Can't say his name. Let's see. Copy. Let's see if there's an update. Okay. It says as of January 25th. Is in the hospital yet. And no, there's no new stuff. So that's really he was 22 when he killed him. Born in 1991. Well, you never know. He's serving a long time in prison, so even if he continues to live, he won't have a quality of life. A couple finds a man's body while looking at a new home in Texas. That's got to be disturbing. It's kind of weird to think about, looking through a house as if you want to buy the house, and then next thing you know, go in the house, and boom, there's a dead body. It says here, a pair of house hunters stumbled across a body while looking at the property in Texas. The incident occurred at 5:15 p.m. Saturday at a home in Katy, Texas. While touring the property, the couple spotted a body in the drainage ditch behind the backyard. The body appeared to have been there for a couple of days. He had suffered some trauma, though the circumstances surrounding his death weren't really clear. An autopsy was ordered to determine the cause of death. As of right now, we're not exactly sure what happened. So, yeah. That's sad. But, happens. 5G boxes are coming to people's homes, whether they want them or not. And then, of course, your conspiracy theorists that say, I don't want that. Put that out there. Because that could change your brain or whatever. These people all have weird theories about this. But I don't even know if I can work on 5G. I mean, I don't think I do. Most people look out their windows in the morning and they aren't expecting to be surprised by a chest freezer-sized box that's feeding a 5G antenna. But that's exactly the experience some Houston residents have been having. Verizon's been installing the boxes as part of its 5G network rollout since 2019. These boxes are known as ground fixtures as they supply power and data to the 5G antennas. And I guess that's what it looks like. It's pretty big. It's a big box. It's ugly. They should at least, fix it up and make it look nice. But, yeah. It says here, the first speed bump is that Verizon is under no obligation to get permission from the owners before installing the boxes. In fact, it's not required to notify them that it's going to happen. This is because technically the boxes and the utility poles that go along with them are installed by the right-of-way, which is land owned by the county. It permits the equipment to be the permit to place the equipment are dirt cheap to telecoms, only costing $300. They used to be $2,700 before the law was passed in Texas in 2017. So, yeah, that's boy. I hope they hope they find a better way to build them, a smaller place or something. That's a huge box. So, yeah. This is interesting. Court approves $17 million payout to Harvey Weinstein's victims. Boy, oh boy. That's a big payout. Of course, I don't know how many women there were in that whole situation, but that's a lot of money. So hopefully they will be able to move on with their lives. Nearly 3 years after the Weinstein Company declared bankruptcy, a judge on Monday confirmed liquidation plan that provides $17.1 million fund for Weinstein's sexual misconduct victims. The plan provides $9.7 million to the former officers and directors of the Weinstein Company, allowing them to pay a portion of their legal bills over the past several years. The directors and officers, who include Weinstein's brother Bob, as well as James Dolan, Tarek Ben Ammar, and Lance Marov, also received releases to absolve them from any potential liability for enabling Weinstein's conduct. So, it says here, several insurance carriers will pay out $35.2 million to resolve all remaining claims, including those from the Weinstein Company's trade creditors. $17 million victims fund will be divided among 50 claimants. Wow, that's amazing. He had 50 people claiming that. Well, if there's that many people, there's a real good chance that it happened. Not that I don't think it happened, because, I think it's a scumbag. But, geez, that's an expensive sexual harassment. He just thought he was a guy that could get away with anything because of his position. So, all right, here's a big thing. Fiat Chrysler has been approved for a merger, creating the fourth largest automaker. This is a big deal. Fiat Chrysler Automobiles and Group PSA, French maker of Peugeot and Citroën, expect their merger to be complete on January 16th. Well, this is, when did I find this? Oh, January 5th was done that. Okay. Well, I just found out about it. Shareholders of both companies overwhelmingly approved the merger on Monday. Fiat Chrysler produces Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, Jeep, Fiat, Alfa Romeo, Maserati, Lancia auto brands, and PSA. Meanwhile, the Peugeot, Citroën, DS, Opel, and Vauxhall cars. And it says, upon the merger, the combined company will become the fourth largest automaker. Together, the companies are worth an estimated $57 billion. In 2019, the companies sold a combined 8 million vehicles. That's 3 million fewer than Volkswagen. So, it'll be interesting. I mean, that, they decided they're going to keep all the brands, and they're going to kind of do them with their own. They're going to have a top management, and then they're going to have individual management for the different brands, so that everybody can still work together yet work separate. So, that's kind of a way to keep everything alive. So, let's see. I had a whole bunch of articles related to that. It says here, goodbye Fiat Chrysler. Here's how we'll remember you. And there we go. Big old Ram trucks, fast cars. I think that there has to be some consolidating, though, because I mean, all those brands, they have to have a place to go. You have to have, you're going to be competing against each other if you have so many different types of vehicles. I don't know. It's interesting. But it was just 2014 when they merged with Fiat, and it's interesting how they are now in another situation. So we got Hellcats, pickups, Jeeps. Oh my! The return of the V8 option after 40 years, and then there's a problem that they have that they're going to be paying some fines and stuff. So I just wonder how that's all going to work out. I don't know if I did this or not. Let's see here. this in first. I want to make sure that people can see this article, because I found it really interesting, because I didn't even realize that that they were putting together something to merge with somebody. So that was interesting to me, because I mean that many manufacturers might even make it easier for them to get some of the, like, there's EPA rulings that they have to worry about, the number of vehicles that make carbon footprints versus electric cars and all that other stuff. They have been buying solar credits probably to make that goal. Because you have these Hellcats and all that are you know, not exactly ecologically sane, and what happened, let me see if I can find that article. I don't know. This was interesting. Chrysler Pacifica Hellcat is a minivan of our dreams. I would buy a Hellcat if it was electric, and if I didn't care about the Earth itself. But it says it's the missing piece of the Hellcat puzzle. Now they did the Chrysler Pacifica as a hybrid, and I was actually going to buy one. I ended up buying my Tesla instead. But it says here, when Jeep first stuffed the Hellcat engine into the Grand Cherokee, the automotive community realized the FCA was willing to build a 700 horsepower version of almost anything. The introduction of the 2021 Durango Hellcat completes the expansion of the Dodge portfolio, with 2021 Ram 1500 TRX also getting a 6.2-liter supercharged V8. There's only one American FCA brand left without a Hellcat-powered model, Chrysler. If you make the most sense to build Chrysler 300 Hellcat, since it assembled alongside the Dodge Charger Hellcat, but what makes sense is rarely the FCA path. Instead, what if the company built a 2021 Chrysler Pacifica Hellcat minivan? It just seems so wrong in every way that they would put that kind of motor in a Hellcat or in a Pacifica. I like the Pacifica. The Pacifica looked really nice and everything. Just was missing that one piece of thing that was most important to me. I wanted something that would get good mileage, and this is going to do just the opposite. So I think that that would be wrong. I think that definitely would not be the right path to go. But hey, you never know. There's more crazy stuff. So let's see here. Dodge CEO says EVs can save the America's new age of muscle cars. So I've never had a muscle car. I mean, the muscleless car I ever had was you know, no, I've never had a muscle car. I was just trying to think if I ever had. I mean, I've had a lot of cars in my time, but I've never owned a muscle car. And the closest thing I had to a muscle car is my Tesla, which is faster than any muscle car out there. So I don't know. I think that unless you're a racer, the need for a Hellcat or the need for a muscle car is if you're you know, putting a show car together, you don't really need the speed, but you know, if you have the speed, that's good. But anyway, the head of Dodge says EVs, whether they're hybrids or all electric, can save what he has called the new golden age of muscle cars. He expects vehicles such as Dodge's infamous Hellcat models with supercharged V8 engines will eventually have to come to an end due to tightening fuel economy requirements. Dodge does not currently offer any electric vehicles, but that could change under the new parent company. By the way, the new parent company is called Stellantis. So I forgot to say that while we were talking about it. But Stellantis is the mother company of all those brands. And, I think that it'll be interesting to see the brands reach out and see what they can do. I mean, they may do well. It says here, vehicles such as the Hellcat models with supercharged V8s that crank out more than 700 horsepower, double most of mainstream vehicles, will eventually come to an end due to the tightening of fuel economy requirements. The situation is something Dodge CEO Tim Kuniskis, an icon among gearheads for Hellcats. The days of the iron block supercharged 6.2-liter V8 are numbered. They're absolutely numbered because of the number of compliance costs, but the performance of those vehicles is not numbered. They actually, I believe there was an article, and I'll have to look. I think I have the article. Looking here to see if I got it or not. Maybe I don't have the article, because Dodge has some problems where they got some legal problems, where they apparently were not doing things legit when it comes to Dodge. Can see it. Where is it? That's defect. Those are not defects. There it is. Here it is. So Chrysler emissions lawsuit. Chrysler's facing a pair of lawsuits, allegations over emissions cheating on Dodge Ram and the Jeep Grand Cherokee diesel trucks. Chrysler's accused. Now this is nuts, but Chrysler's accused of installing software to defeat device on thousands of Dodge and Jeep vehicles in order to conceal the emissions that are on these cars that were many times higher than the federal pollution standards. A second class action suit alleges that excess emissions from certain Dodge Ram trucks may cause premature engine damage. The first class action, filed on behalf of 2014 and 2016 Dodge Ram 1500 EcoDiesel and Jeep Cherokee EcoDiesel owners, alleged that Chrysler installed a defeat device on these vehicles in order to conceal nitrogen oxide emission levels that were up to 10 times higher than the maximum allowed by the EPA. The defeat device was designed to lower the performance of Dodge Ram and Jeep Cherokee EcoDiesel models in order to enable the vehicles to meet federal emissions standards. The only way for these models to deliver the performance levels advertised by Chrysler is to turn off the EcoDiesel technology while they were being driven. The lawsuit against Chrysler and Bosch alleges the two companies have knowingly misled customers about the performance emissions levels of the vehicles. Drivers who purchased one of the Dodge Ram 1500 or Jeep Grand Cherokee EcoDiesel models paid about $4,700 more for the environmental benefits and increased fuel efficiency of these models that was advertised by Chrysler. As a result, emissions of cheating by Chrysler and Bosch vehicle owners may face future repair costs and diminished resale values of their trucks. A second class action suit filed on behalf of the 2007 to 2012 Dodge Ram 2500 and Dodge Ram 3500 truck owners alleges that the Cummins diesel engines on these vehicles releases NOx emissions up to 14 times higher than federal intended federal emissions. These excess emissions may cause the catalytic converters on these two models to wear out sooner than than intended, costing the vehicle owners thousands of repair costs and the failure of the emission systems on these vehicles may cause a warning light to go on. If these vehicles are not repaired quickly, the trucks may go into limp mode, allowing them to be driven only at slow speeds. So it sounds pretty interesting, you know, because these two things are pretty hefty. So yeah, they weren't exactly honest for that. Where is it? There it is. Need to copy this. Let's see here. Copy. Where is it? There it is. Okay. I want to make sure that I post that too, because I got friends that like Dodge and stuff, and it's always good to give them the information and let them deal with whatever. But that's, to me, that's scary that they actually would have done that on purpose to just to come up with these lawsuits, you know, to try to mislead the public. So okay. Now, what else we got? How do I get that? Where's the... That must be... Oh, okay, here it is. There we are. Whew. Okay. Then, Chevron and Exxon discuss merger. Last year, after the COVID pandemic devastated oil prices, they're going to try to merge together and save their business. But I don't know, the price on that, the price stayed steady, and I don't know, you know, because I think the price around here was $2.50 or $2.70 or something like that. Since I haven't paid for gas in a long time, I have no idea. The CEOs of Chevron and ExxonMobil last year discussed the possibility of merging the two companies. The Wall Street Journal and Reuters reported that Chevron CEO Michael Wirth and Exxon CEO Darren Woods spoke about the prospect after the COVID-19 pandemic began to negatively impact oil prices. The talks are not ongoing and were described as preliminary, according to the Journal. And so I guess they were saying that Chevron made $164 billion and Exxon $189 billion, meaning the combined company worth would be $350 billion. The combined firm would be the second largest oil and gas company in the world. So that's a lot of money. That's just amazing money. So that's crazy money. People like me, you know, it's like we grew up in thinking that $1 million was a lot of money. And now, if you think about it, $1 million isn't a lot of money. You know, you can't really retire on $1 million and expect to live a good life. I mean, I guess you can, but I don't know. Amazon's Ring now reportedly partners with more than 2,000 U.S. police and fire departments. So, looks like they... You know, it's funny because the guy that invented Ring was on Shark Tank, and he was on as a shark instead of... Because he originally was on as a presenter, and nobody picked up his Ring device. Then Amazon picked it up. Then he went back and he appeared as, you know, one of the sharks, and he just laughed at him because they all said no to him. But it's kind of funny. Only 2 states, Montana and Wyoming, have no departments on the Ring program. It says all other states have police or fire departments participating in Amazon's Ring network, which lets law enforcement ask users for footage for their Ring security camera to assist in investigations. That can't be a bad thing. So, all right. Helps them solve all kinds of crimes that they prior to would have no. It's funny because I watch things like Chicago PD, and they're always getting footage from other places. But the Ring cameras definitely add a. It's like I said, you can't go anywhere without being on camera. So you definitely want to be careful how you end up doing a crime, because it's going to follow you. The New York Post says that a New Jersey teacher kills himself inside a high school. I find that really sad. There's all kinds of mental issues that people have, and sometimes you can't really see them because they are really good at hiding them. But a New Jersey teacher is believed to have committed suicide inside a high school where he worked. Patrick Makosia, I want to say, 47 of Doylestown, Pennsylvania, was found dead inside the Pompton Lakes High School shortly after 9 p.m. Friday. They discovered his body. They were called in to check on him. An autopsy will determine what the cause of death is, but that's believed to be the result of a suicide. It's really sad. You just don't know. And it's, if somebody really wants to kill themselves, they can. There's nothing anybody can do to stop them. So, and I don't know that some people can be saved, because you may stop them this time, but next time they're going to do it. Texas officials accidentally send an Amber Alert for a Chucky doll. That's got to be a good advertisement for Chucky, but I don't think that's what they expected. That's just funny. It's funny. I don't know. It's probably it's probably just an ad, but or something, because it says here Glenn, age 5 years old, red or auburn hair, 23 inches tall. Then it has Chucky, 28 years old, red or auburn hair, 33 inches tall, and just it's really stupid that they actually made that claim. He did say he'd always come back. Texas officials were left red-faced when the Texas Department of Safety accidentally sent out an Amber Alert claiming that Child's Play puppet Chucky had abducted his son, Glenn Ray. Oh, okay. So the abducted child was... Wait a minute. Had abducted his son, featured in The Seed of Chucky. Oh, okay. So those were both... The abducted child was Glenn, and the suspect was Chucky. So that's pretty funny. And he was on the run, wielding a huge kitchen knife. According to the alert, captured by TMZ, the abducted Glenn, 5, weighing 5 pounds, standing 2'3", was last seen in Henderson, Texas, and the suspect was Chucky, 28, and he was in this classic denim overalls and striped shirt. The result was a test, says here, was a test malfunction. We apologize for the confusion this may have caused and are diligently working to ensure this does not happen again. Unless Chucky does abduct someone else, I guess. So, that's funny. And somebody's face has to be red over that. It's funny. Did I get that? Did I do that one right? Oh, now I gotta check. Yeah, okay. It's funny. Fort Bliss soldiers poisoned after drinking substance they thought was booze. So, yeah, that's kind of weird. It says here, 11 soldiers at the military base in Texas have been hospitalized after drinking a poisonous substance they thought was alcohol. The soldiers drank an unknown substance after a 10-day field exercise. Officials said the soldiers thought they were drinking booze, which is banned at the base. They began experiencing symptoms between 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. that same day. All were taken to the William Beaumont Army Medical Center, and 2 soldiers were admitted to the intensive care unit because they are seriously ill. The results showed the soldiers were assigned to the 11th Air Defense Artillery Brigade. They were suffering from glycol poisoning. Symptoms of glycol poisoning include seizures, going into a coma, cerebral edema, and in some cases, cerebral edema in some cases. So, be careful what you're drinking. You don't know what's going to come out of it. What do you want, puppy? I hear you. I think everybody hears you. What? 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 People don't want to hear you crying. They don't. I promise you. They don't want to hear you crying. You shouldn't cry. Oh, puppy. Wish you weren't sick. I wish you weren't sick. You're a good boy. Alright. Alright. Oops, what's happening? Okay. Why didn't that work? Okay, so this, let's see if we can paste this in here. Alright, here we go. Twitter backs down and unlocks the Post account. Now, I get a lot of stories from different places, but one of the places that I usually get some decent stories out of is the New York Post. And they were apparently locked out of Twitter. And apparently Twitter's in a lot of trouble, because between them blocking Trump and a few other things, other people and stuff, they're losing people that are users. What do you want? I will give you another thing to make you quiet. Gotta feed the dog, or else he'll just keep on crying. Alright. Here you go. There you go, pup. Twitter backed down Friday in its battle with the Post and unlocked its main account after a 2-week stalemate over the Hunter Biden expose. The move came after the Post refused Twitter's demand that it delete 6 tweets linked to stories that the company claimed without any evidence were based on hacked information. The Post never budged, and it kept its tweets on the account during the standoff, even as Twitter obscured them from view. In a series of tweets, the social media giant said it's revising its hacked materials policy and updating the practice of retroactively overturning prior enforcement. Our policies are living documents. We will update and adjust them when we encounter the new scenarios, and the Post immediately celebrated with a victory, declaring we're back, with an image of the tabloid's Saturday front page with the headline "Free Bird." So there's a picture of a bird cage with a Twitter bird getting out. So I think that the whole idea that they were shut down, I mean, I understand they want to keep some integrity to Twitter, but honestly, it's ridiculous. I think that free speech is important, and I think that to narrow down on one particular account for lockouts isn't the right way to do things. So, who knows? I don't know. They just seem to be. I don't think that that it was. I mean, whether you like him or don't like him, as far as Trump goes, you know, to lock him out was the wrong thing to do. And I know that Republicans are upset with the whole thing too. There's a lot of people that are actually leaving Twitter because of their action, because of Twitter's actions, blocking people, stopping people from being allowed to use their accounts and all that stuff. I think that that's a bad move on their part. And I don't know what I would do if I was the head of Twitter or not, but there's got to be a better way than just blocking someone or putting someone in Twitter jail or Facebook jail or whatever it is. You know, I just I have a problem with them moving that kind of information around like that. Lawyer suspended after advising Facebook friend to cover up a murder. Ooh. Yes, I disagree with them doing that too. You shouldn't cover up a murder. Right? Right. Right? What? What are you crying about? You need to stop crying. You hear it? You gotta stop crying. Stop. You're disrupting the show. You can't have your way every time. Or can you? He's trying to drive me crazy. It's a short drive, too. Let's see here. I'm going to give you these. Then you're going to lay down and stop bugging me. Here. Dinner rounds. He loves dinner rounds. It's his favorite food. He's a pesty dog. But he's my pesty dog. There you go. Now go away. Alright. So, a Nashville lawyer had his license suspended after he advised a woman over Facebook how to shoot someone and make it look like self-defense. Tennessee's top judges sanctioned attorney Winston B. Sitton after they discovered that directed a woman to invite an estranged romantic partner into her home, kill him, then lie to the police. The woman's 2017 post on how to handle possible abuse or harassment by an ex-partner. In a comment, Sitton told her to lure the man into her home and shoot him and then tell the police that he broke in and tried to harm her. That's a horrible thing. Yeah, I don't necessarily like that. So even with the new stand your ground law, the Castle Doctrine is far safer basis for the deadly use of force. And Sitton wrote the woman should delete her post, typing, "As a lawyer, I advise you to keep mum about this. If you're remotely serious, your defense is that you are afraid for your life, revenge, and premeditated of any sort will be used against you." So that was really a poor thing to. I can't believe that a lawyer would have been stupid enough to put themselves out there and all that, but I guess they were. So, dozens of young girls secretly recorded undressing in a Tennessee gym. So avoid this gym if you're a young girl, because you probably will be recorded. Well, hopefully not now that they caught them, but here we go. What are you doing, dog? I can hear you. A creep set up a hidden camera inside a Tennessee gym and recorded dozens of young cheerleaders, gymnasts, and dancers undressing. The GoPro camera was found inside the girls' bathroom of Premier Athletics on Tuesday by the gym's manager, who handed the device over to cops. Detectives believe the suspect had been intermittently staging the camera to capture video in the restroom since September. As of Friday, Franklin police have notified 47 of the 60 victims who were secretly recorded or their parents. Most of the victims were young girls, so it's a shame that those kind of people are out there. That's just wrong. I hear you, puppy. Stop it. Go lay down. Go. Go on. Go. Go. Go lay down. Go lay down. Anyway, yeah, that's... What a way to freaking... I can't imagine doing something like that. And just, you can't be... I don't know, these people are just nuts. Why do they have to go out there and disrupt these people's lives by recording them? I don't know. 3D printing is big in a lot of places, and now it's even bigger here. 3D printing a 2-meter column in 30 minutes. That's pretty big. I mean, for a 3D printer to do it in 30 minutes, that's pretty impressive. There's no question that 3D printing is here to stay. It's developing technology that raises certain questions. Is it really effective for massive and large-scale construction? How sustainable will it be? You know, we had articles about 3D printing that they were 3D printing houses out of concrete and stuff like that. But usually they weren't as quick as this one is. This one, this looks like a tower or a giant, I don't know what it is. It's kind of like a lookout tower or something. But the idea that they did it in 30 minutes is progress in that type of field. So I think it's pretty cool that they have been able to put it together in that short period of time. Hold on here. I got to do this one also because I'm the only one here. All right. It says here, we'll go from being an option to becoming the norm in the construction industry. To be a clear, the broader picture of 3D printer is in architecture and construction. And let's see here, Alan Gillen, manager and co-founder of Xtree, a platform which allows architecture to bring their designs to reality through advanced large-scale 3D printing, generating quick and precise shapes without material waste. I'll tell you what, it's pretty interesting because this thing that they did is really awesome. This 2-meter column in 30 minutes. That's just very, very fast, and I think that's something that could definitely make home building quite a bit more efficient and save lots of money in the long run. So it says here, how does this manufacturing process for structural parts work, and what does it differentiate from non-structural elements? And the answer was, our process relies on large-scale 3D printing of different types of materials based on patented Xtree E technology called bi-component extrusion. For non-structural elements, the manufacturing is a simple printing phase, eventually followed by secondary work to get to the final product. So, I mean, it's really interesting to me that they could actually make all these things. I thought it was fascinating that they could do it with the houses and stuff, with the concrete and stuff. And it only continues to get better and better, because this structure that was the stand-up thing, the 3D thing that they printed, 2 meters high. I mean, it's pretty big, and it's not just a big block. It's actually a system that is able to be done 3D printing, but it's not just a square going up and down. It's just it's got a lot of indentions and stuff like that. So I think we'll see that getting more and more. It's interesting because here it says it talks about the 3D, even 3D printing seems to be high-tech method, and they just lay layers, like when they're doing houses, they just lay layers of concrete, and I think it's interesting that that's been growing in the industry. I think first time I talked about it was probably around 2013. So it's interesting that it's grown to this. But it's going to be consistent in the way that they build this, because the consistency of the concrete and all that stuff will be done by a machine rather than by a human. So anyway, what time we got here? 9:20. All right, so I'll do these. I'll try to do these quickly here because there's a couple things that. Florida man badly loses a fight with a canine. That's not a good idea to fight with a canine. He was fighting the police and the canine, and the canine won. So I fought the law, and the law won. This guy's truly screwed up. It says here, despite losing consciousness twice, Eric Tyler Mathis tried to fight off cops and a canine. I'll tell you what, based by the look of his face, he lost it bad. So that'll teach you. But that's really nuts to think that somebody would even fight off a dog and the cops. So you could probably fight one, but you're not going to beat all of them. Shooting at the Wisconsin Mall leaves 2 wounded and the suspect on the loose. It says here 2 people were wounded in a shooting in Wisconsin Mall Sunday. Gunfire rang out around 3:30, and the suspect and shooter fled before the police arrived and was still being sought by the police. So, yeah, it's horrible, man. Video shows. Oh, this is really disturbing. This little girl, 9 years old, got pepper sprayed, and I still to this day can't understand why they would do that. Because a little girl like that, you could easily handle. But it says here, body cam. Let me see if we can get the body cam stuff up here. So there. Okay, now we'll back it up here. Okay.
I'm not going over. I want my dad.
All she said was she wants her mom.
Hey, get back in your house. Let's go have a seat. No, I want my dad.
She wants her dad. She's 9.
No car till I see my dad. Here, just stop for a second.
That's sad. It's so sad. They got the pepper spray right in our hands. For a 9-year-old. I don't understand. I just don't get it. Why would they do that? To me, there's no excuse for it. Footage from the video shows a family dispute on Friday. The distraught youngster running from the police, then dropping to the snow-covered ground. I want my dad, the girl screams in the second video. I ain't going nowhere. I want my dad. I'm not getting in no car until I see my dad. Stop, an officer says. Wait, can I please get the snow off of me, she yells. I want my dad. Wait, I want to see my dad. Please, for the last time, I demand. Stop or you're going to hurt yourself, cop responds at one point. A female officer is heard saying to the girl she'll find her father, but asks her to get inside the car and stay warm, only to have the girl start screaming again. Just spray her at this point, one cop says. Please wipe my eyes, screams the girl who was handcuffed behind her back. Wipe my eyes, please. The footage was released Sunday, and the chief of police said the girl was suicidal. She indicated she wanted to kill herself and she wanted to kill her mom. And 9 police cars responded to the call. The girl's mother, who was not identified, is seen in the footage arguing with her daughter. She becomes increasingly agitated while her mother berates her. The mother is seen cursing at passing motorists. I'm not going to stand here and tell you that a 9-year-old have to be pepper sprayed is okay. It's not. I don't see that as who we are as a department. We're going to work to have to ensure that these kind of things don't happen. I don't understand why they, a 9-year-old, you can just pick her up and put her in the car. There's no reason to shoot her eyes with anything. I just think that was just the wrong thing to do. And it's sad. So, shows the state of the union, state of what people, I don't know, there's no reason, there's just no reason for that to happen. This is so weird. A Florida man facing sex crimes sets a GoFundMe to help fleeing the country. Now, this guy had an ankle bracelet on, and he had cut the ankle bracelet off, I believe, and he was trying to raise money because he wanted to leave the country. And instead, well, that doesn't happen. A man out on bond for child abuse cuts off his ankle bracelet in an attempt to raise money to flee the country. Keith Morris Smith, 29, created an online fundraiser titled "Trying to Be Free" and set donations at $2,000 for a goal of $2,000. He's facing multiple charges, including committing a sex crime on a child between the ages of 12 and 16. What did I say? He's 29. Yeah. I'm fundraising to basically live. I was on bond that was revoked over something I never did. Now I'm on the run. Smith wrote on the page that he needed cash to flee the country because he believed he'd die if he went back to jail. And there's no going back now that I've already cut my monitor off and got rid of most of my things except for my clothes. If I go back to jail, I'll need help with the money to get out of the country. I have no assets because I sold everything of value. Just really nuts. So, I don't know. Anybody that donated to his funds had to be nuts. That guy there's just a reason why. There's a reason why our country's going to crap. And it's people like this guy, to even allow a GoFundMe for something like this. So, let's see here. Time got 9:30. Okay, so if I do these, I can do a couple more of these. A lot of these are Florida. Florida man. I don't know why the New York Post has got a lot of people in Florida that they were reporting on. But Florida man charged with murdering restaurant manager he met online. A missing Florida restaurant manager in an open relationship was murdered by an online predator that he met on a dating app. Michael Harris Jr., 20, was arrested late Saturday on a second-degree murder charge in the death of 63-year-old Bobby Scott, whose husband reported him missing on January 17th. Deputies found Harris with Scott's vehicle 2 days later in DeLand, where he told investigators the restaurant manager loaned it to him, but he hadn't heard from him since. But Scott's husband told cops he didn't give out his car to anyone. So that guy killed him and took his car. Oh, wow. That guy doesn't look too good for a guy that's only 20. Jeez. He looks like he has he looks like he's in his 40s. Drunk Florida person arrested for allegedly stealing a floating tiki bar. If you're going to steal something, I don't know that it would be a tiki bar, because you can't get away. It's not like you're going to have it's not like you're going to have a boat chase. A Florida man was arrested after he was caught operating a floating tiki bar that he reportedly stolen. Agents from the Coast Guard found the man on a stolen tiki near Hawks Channel off the coast of the Florida Keys. Don't drink and boat, the tweet says. The man appeared intoxicated and was taken into custody by officers for the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation. So, only in Florida. Only in Florida. I think I'll have a segment called Only in Florida. Florida man who was naked stole, crashed police car. I still don't quite understand how he got there to be naked and stole the car. But he did steal the car and he was naked. But and he's such a young kid. I don't know what he was on, but a naked Florida man stole what news footage showed to be a marked police car and crashed into the woods. Joshua Shanker, 22, was arrested after Thursday's crashing on charges including theft of a motor vehicle, aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer, depriving an officer of means of communication or protection, and resisting an officer without violence. Officers responded to reports of a naked man running along Interstate 10 in western Jacksonville shortly before noon. Shanker was lying in the roadway when an officer stopped on the opposite side of the route. The report said that Shanker then ran across the highway lanes towards the officer. The redacted report didn't say how Shanker stole the vehicle. Authorities confirmed only that the vehicle belonging to the city of Jacksonville was stolen. First Coast News footage of the scene showed the crashed vehicle to be a marked patrol car. According to the report, about $10,000 worth of damage was done to the vehicle. Only in Florida. Still doesn't explain what he was doing being naked and how he ended up stealing the car, but since they redacted the whole report, I guess we'll never know. Yeah, another one from Florida. Florida mom accused of throwing infant at father during a heated feud. Well, now that's a classy woman there. You know, you always don't want to bring your kids into the middle of it, but what the heck, we'll throw them into the middle. I just don't understand why someone would do that, but apparently they would. Florida mom was arrested for allegedly throwing her infant at the baby's father during a heated argument, leaving their child seriously injured. Shanna Vega, 34, first threatened the baby's father with a knife during a Monday feud at their home. It is an extended stay hotel, according to the arrest report. When Vega allegedly threw her baby, she landed face down, suffering several injuries, including a orbital bone fracture, bleeding to the brain, and liver laceration. Vega picked up the child from the floor and fled to a nearby home, whose owner called the police to report her. The mother denied throwing the child while being questioned by the police, telling them that she fled with the baby over losing custody. She was charged with aggravated child abuse and cruelty. Whew. That's crazy. I don't know what... I mean... I don't know. Let's see. Predator teacher had sex with a teen in the classroom closet, according to this. Now, this kid doesn't even look old enough to be a teacher. Now, I mean, when I looked at him first, I thought, well, wait a minute, he can't possibly be a teacher. But apparently, he was. Because he is 29, and he doesn't look 29 to me. He looks closer to 18, maybe. But, hey, what do I know? A Twisted Florida high school teacher repeatedly had sex with a 16-year-old female student in the classroom. Wayne Mackenzie Ricks II, a 29-year-old special education teacher and boys junior varsity basketball coach, was arrested late Tuesday on 10 counts of custodial sexual abuse battery dating back to last fall. Ricks of Kissimmee allegedly had the teen visit his classroom, where he victimized her in a closet after texting during school hours and authorizing passes for her to leave class. Another student and friend of the victim would be present in the classroom at the time and recalled observing the two walk into the closet and have sex for about 10 different occasions. Man. I mean, how can you even have teachers that are male anymore? But then it doesn't seem to matter whether they're male or not, because the females also do it. So actually, like this one, I can hit it. There we go. Lesbian teacher, 31, fired for having sex with her former student, 18, and moving her into the home. Like, doesn't anybody have any kind of scruples? I mean, I just think that that's nuts. It's bad enough us guys are jerks and get caught doing stuff. And you want to think that, there's some kind of thing with women that they have, they care about other people. I don't know. I just think that it sucks that these people are out there. Because, I mean, there's no difference between the lesbian teacher and that 29-year-old male teacher having sex with their former students. A female history teacher has been fired in Birmingham school in the UK after she embarked on a sexual relationship with an 18-year-old female student. And it says here, Gemma Beckett, 31, was fired this week with a sexual relationship with an 18-year-old student at the John Henry Newman Catholic School. A misconduct panel heard Beckett met the student in 2016 when she enrolled in the school as a year 13 pupil. Beckett and the teen girl, whose mother had just died, began a mutual romantic relationship with each other. I mean, can't you just wait till they're out of school? I guess you can't. So, I don't know. It's another one of those things. Now here's the weird stuff. Weirder stuff. Teacher busted for allegedly trying to hire a hitman to kill his mom. Man, how could people be like that? I mean, I don't really think that I've had the best relationship with my mother, but I wouldn't want to try to kill her. And things have been better. But anyway, Kentucky middle school teacher tried to hire a hitman to kill his mom. Billy Reynolds, a teacher and school bus driver for West Carter Middle School, was arrested Thursday for allegedly offering $10,000 in the murder-for-hire plot. State police said they received a tip on January 15th from someone who claimed They had been contacted by a 41-year-old Reynolds and given a retainer fee to kill his mother. It's unclear why Reynolds wanted to kill his mother, who lives next door to him. Relatives said they were stunned. So, yeah, not a good plan there, buddy. Gotta do it a little bit differently. Maybe next time, maybe go through an agency. I don't think there is such an agency. It's just nuts. I can't understand why somebody would do that. But a Michigan woman tried to hire a hitman on a website. Oh, people. If you're going to kill somebody, do it yourself. You can't trust any website. You can't trust anybody you talk to. Just do it yourself. Don't be lazy. It says here, a Michigan woman tried to have her ex-husband killed for $5,000. That's $5,000 less than the other guy. And the other guy got caught. So maybe you should think about that. It says here, killed for $5,000 by contacting a fake hitman website. Apparently there's a website that has fake people on it. Where's my dog at? Oh, he's behind me. Okay. All right. Wendy Wine, I guess it is, 51, was arrested Friday after she visited a bogus website, www.rentahitman.com, and completed a service request form requesting a consultation to help her with an issue. When Wine specified her ex-husband as a target of her problems, the owner of the website contacted the Michigan State Police because she was concerned that Wine may be attempting to kill her husband. The undercover state trooper, posing as a hitman, then went to meet with Wine in a parking lot in her hometown. At a meeting, Wine offered the undercover trooper $5,000 to kill her ex-husband, who lives in another state. Wine was arraigned Tuesday on charges of solicitation to commit a murder and illegal use of a computer to facilitate a crime. She was ordered held at Monroe County Jail on $500,000 bond. Jeez. I want to see this website. Wow. That's just... wow. I just don't even know what to think. That's wow. They have a page of stuff you can buy too. Holy cow. That's funny. And people actually would think that that was a legit website. Jeez. I don't know. People are getting stupider and stupider as they get older. Why would you even go to an actual website? Like, it would have to be on the dark web before I'd even consider getting something like that. Not that I want anybody killed, but still. They even have on this website, we're still open during COVID-19 pandemic. That's pretty funny. Yeah. No, it's good to have access to your hitman at any time. Oh. And I wouldn't, oh man, I just can't believe how stupid they were. Well, taking a few more people off the freedom list. 2 teens nabbed for the murder of a Texas mom delivering Uber Eats. Who said Uber Eats couldn't be dangerous? Jeez. Why would you kill someone for Uber Eats? Maybe they should have gotten together with the woman on that website. It says here, 2 14-year-olds have been arrested for the murder of a Texas mother killed while dropping off Uber Eats delivery. Teenagers allegedly stabbed 31-year-old Ryan Muncie to death in a robbery gone wrong. The married mom of 3 was found dead in the breezeway of an apartment complex in Halton City, outside of Fort Worth, on Saturday night. really disgusts me that they would do that. I mean, the mother's just trying to make some money, and these guys kill her. Just for fun, just because they wanted the little money that she got for the Uber Eats. Washington State man admits to dismembering 2 women in a garage. I swear this world is just coming to an end. We're supposed to be civilized people, and you read these things and they're anything but civilized. Washington State man admitted to killing 2 women after police found one victim's head in the back of an abandoned car and dismembered remains in another in a trunk. Mauricio Nava Garibay, 28, was arrested Thursday following the grisly discovery near Othello in the eastern part of the state. Nava Garibay confessed to the double murders, saying he killed 2 women in a fight and cut them up because they were too heavy to lift. The admitted killer told detectives he fought the one victim in her home before telling her that he had a present for her in the garage. Once in the garage, Nava Garibay told cops he punched the woman in the face, stabbed her in the stomach and face several times, and strangled her with a belt and extension cord. He went on to explain that the other woman walked into the garage during the murder, and he pushed her from behind, causing her to hit her head on the floor. The confessed killer said that he grabbed the second victim by the head and stabbed her in the back of the neck. Jeez. The police responded to a call on a suspicious vehicle Thursday and reported outside to find a 2014 Honda Accord with blood on the hood and flesh and white hair on the outside. A flesh-appearing object was visible in the back seat, and police say Nava Garibay was spotted walking away from the car. He's charged with 2 counts. This guy's nuts. Oh man. See, someone like that, they should just kill him. There shouldn't be all this money in a trial, or just putting him away, or trying to rehabilitate him. They should just kill him. So, alright. Dad charged with killing his daughter's boyfriend who snuck into her room. It just never ends. You know, I mean, he shouldn't have snuck into her room, but she probably knew it. Washington State's father is accused of killing his daughter's boyfriend after finding the young man in her room. Charles Heller, 49, was charged with second-degree murder Monday in the fatal 2019 shooting of 20-year-old Dustin Hunt after he discovered his daughter tried to sneak Hunt into her room. That's a dangerous thing to do. Prosecutors said 20-year-old Lauren Heller and her boyfriend had snuck into the family's home earlier in the day without her parents' knowledge, but both Charles Heller and his wife told the cops they heard their daughter talking and laughing with someone else. Heller then texted his daughter to say her guest needed to leave by 10:30, but she didn't respond and went outside as Hunt hid under her bed. When Lauren Heller went back inside, she said she saw her father pointing a gun as he was trying to get dressed, wearing only his underwear. Heller's finger was on the trigger the entire time he was pointing the weapon, and the point was important to Lauren and played a large role in her fear because her father, formerly in the military, has training and handling firearms, and taught her that you do not put your hand on the trigger unless you're prepared to shoot. Lauren Heller put herself between her boyfriend and the gun, and telling her father to shoot her if he was going to open fire. Hunt then pushed the gun away from his girlfriend, and causing her father to fall onto the bed. Charles Heller later told the detectives he shot Hunt in the shoulder and told his wife to call an ambulance after putting the gun away. An autopsy showed that Hunt died from a single gunshot wound. Whew. You know, the guy is guilty as anything, because he knew that the man wasn't a threat. So in nowhere do I read that the guy was a threat. He was just banging his daughter. So, yeah. Let's see here. Here's a New York City teacher who traveled to Florida to have sex with an underage teen. These people are just, he's 31, and he was a teacher in New York City, and he flew all the way to Florida to have sex with an underage teen. Not just a teenager, an underage teen. The guy's definitely... He's a social studies teacher at an all-girls public school in Queens. Traveled to Florida to have sex with an underage teen. He'd spent months chatting online. After cozying up with the teen for months over the internet, I'm not sure how to say his name, Shazan Naqvi, was recently taught, who most recently taught at the Young Women's Leadership School in Jamaica, hopped a flight down to the Sunshine State and allegedly carried out a sick act. It never ceases to amaze me the lengths predators will go to get what they want. In this case, the middle school teacher booked a ticket, boarded a plane, traveled across the country to meet a minor who had been chatting with for 3 months. He allegedly picked the teen up at her Tampa home around 1:30 a.m. and brought her to his hotel. A few hours later, Naqvi returned the youth to her home only to allegedly pick her up again at 1 p.m. They returned to Naqvi's hotel where they allegedly engaged in sexual acts. Naqvi was ultimately arrested around 2 a.m. Sunday and allegedly admitted to deputies that he knew the victim was underage. It's just really wrong. I don't even care what the sexual acts, even if they were just straight sex. The kid was underage, so that as far as I'm concerned, it's an open and shut case. This is another guy that I would think probably, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think you can rehabilitate this guy. Florida gym owner sent explicit, this is funny, Florida gym owner sent explicit videos to cop posing as a teen. So, we've had a lot of Florida stories today. Let me see here. The co-owner of a Florida rock climbing gym sent X-rated messages and videos to an undercover detective posing as a 14-year-old girl. Christopher Brown, one of the owners of the Vertical Ventures, a rock climbing gym in St. Petersburg, was arrested Wednesday on 10 counts of transmission of harmful material to a minor and unlawful use of a two-way device. Brown, who had co-owned the gym since 2006, began sending messages to the undercover detective in August and had sexually explicit conversations with someone he thought was a 14-year-old girl. Brown, 41, is accused of sending crude messages and depicting the sex acts he wanted the teen to perform with him. We had an undercover officer in the chat situation with Christopher Brown, in which he thought the undercover officer was a 14-year-old girl. Social media platform in which Brown allegedly contacted the undercover detective was not specified by the police. So this guy is held on $102,000 bail, and geez, I don't know. I just don't understand it. I keep reading these things and I keep thinking these people aren't out there, but they are. They're out there. Oh well, almost out of time. I guess I will go to the... Well, let's see here. I must not have put a whole lot of stuff in there. Here's one. Tesla semi-truck production prototype spotted ahead of launch. So the Tesla Semi is actually pretty interesting because it's going to be, I think it was $250,000, I believe, is what the truck is going to run, and that's right around the price of, a regular semi, and it'll get, I think, 600 miles to the charge or so, and offer the autonomous stuff and all that. I'm interested to see this because it also has the driver sits in the middle of the truck, not off to the side. That'll be interesting to see how that goes. It's been spotted in Tesla's Fremont factory and Gigabyte factory ahead of the start of production unveiling of the Semi in 2017. They talked about it. After a few delays, they talked about a low volume production in 2020 and later pushed to 2021. It's time to bring the Semi to volume production. The Tesla Semi would be produced at Gigafactory Texas in Austin. We've also seen that Tesla's gearing up to have some production of the Tesla Semi at the Gigafactory in Nevada. It's interesting. The actual pictures of it look pretty cool. So it looks, it looks smaller than your basic Semi, but it doesn't. You think about this as far as the motor goes, like it is in the cars. The motor area doesn't have to be that big motor area because it's electric. So the biggest part of that car, or that biggest part of that truck, is going to be the batteries and the motors that are going to run the tires. So, fewer parts, fewer breakdowns, but it looks pretty good. Looks pretty interesting. So, yeah, just here. Someone else mentioned the drivers in the middle. It says here, saw two in Hayward in October. Dude sat in the middle of the cab and couldn't back up for squat. He wasn't very good at backing up. Kind of interesting. But yeah, I think the Tesla trucks are going to be a big thing, and hopefully cause the stock to go up and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Let's see here. That's the one I want to talk about. I think I talked about. Okay, I'll talk about this. Really big thing. An electric car has lapped Daytona for the first time. As we've seen a lot of things happen in the electric world, I think this is going to be pretty big. The annual 24-hour race at Daytona International Speedway in Florida got underway on Saturday afternoon, and this year's race has been a pretty good one. Although there's still there's still nearly 7 hours left to run. This year is the 59th running of the race that has become, unofficially at least, the start of the year's racing season for many. But on Friday, the 3.5-mile road course tried something new. An electric racing car took to the track for demonstration laps. The first time a racing EV has done so. With any luck, it may be the herald of things to come as the sport's organizers explore the potential of the U.S. Series for the next few years. This wasn't a single-seater with an open wheels like the cars in the Formula E. Instead, it was designed for a new category called ETCR, the electric touring cars. Think heavily modified road-going cars, but with electric powertrains. In this case, the road-going car was a Hyundai Veloster. Hyundai's been contesting the electric, or the not electric TCR category with the Veloster, but none of those feature 2.0 liter internal combustion engines driving the front wheels. The ETCR rulebook is much more restrictive. As a result, the Velocitor N ETCR is much more exotic, and not one with, but 4 electric motors paired up so that each rear wheel powered by a pair of motors. Peak power is an impressive 670 horsepower or 500 kilowatts, as much as the new hybrid prototypes that will race at Le Mans this year. Drawing energy from a 68 kilowatt hour battery pack sourced from Williams Advanced Engineering, which is also supplying Formula E with batteries that the series' 3rd generation car. So I think this will be interesting to see if this is I mean, what would be cool is with these races, like for a 24-hour race, they could have the battery swap out, because that's, you know, depending how they do it, if it's some kind of plug-in or some kind of way they can pull the batteries out and put the next set of batteries in, you could have a pretty interesting race, and you'll see whether or not they can be able to hold up over a period of time against gas cars. I don't know. It seems interesting to me, and I'd like to definitely see what happens, because I mean they lapped the Daytona. That's a good start. So, all right, I guess that's it. I guess we're done. I guess we have pretty much finished our time here, and I think I actually made it through. Let's double check here. I'm going to check to see if all streams are still working. I see we're working on, yeah, we're working here on YouTube. We're working here on Twitch. Looks like we're still working on Periscope and Twitter, and obviously still working on Facebook and the mix as usual. All right, I want to thank you guys for showing up, and I hope you enjoyed the show. And as always, I want you to know the most important part is that I don't know where I put it. I did this last week too, and freaking don't know where the ending is. It's got to be this one though, but that's really short. I think it's got to be longer than that. Where do we have? There it is. Okay. All right. See you guys next week, and as always,